Today I'm going to be working on a garden journal, making the actual journal. And what I'm going to do first is just make my signatures, which are the paper sections. So I've got some different choices here, and these could be different sizes when it comes to your actual signatures. So I have some different choices. I have some graph paper. I have some paper that I've actually printed the lines on so that when it's folded this way, they'll be good for me to use to write in. I've got some green paper, some pink, some yellow, and then just some of this stationery I had laying around. So I'm going to start by folding all my paper in half this way. This will be the binding part of my journal and the outer edge. So I'm just making sure they're all folded nice and neat and precise. Some I'll fold one way, some maybe I'll fold, so the design is in. This will all be pages in our journal. So whether I fold it with the lines in or the lines out, they'll all be pages. I have my papers all folded so I can make my signatures. I also folded a few sheets of this watercolor paper. They're just a tiny bit smaller. They're an 8 by 10, but that's okay. But I wanted to have some in there, so when I'm doing different gardening things, I might want to paint a little something. So I'm gonna put together my signatures here by nesting them like this. So, and then inside, and then keep adding. Now I want 10 sheets, so it's good to count if you want a certain amount. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and another 10. So I got my signatures all folded, and then I'll show you 3 ways to secure them. Okay, so I have my 10 pages together there, and then the last thing I'm going to do is give them each a cover. And the cover needs to be as large as your pages. As long as your pages. I have my signatures ready with the cover. And now I'm going to show you how I bind that all together. This one here, we're going to staple. We want everything lined up really well. So I'm going to put my little clips each side just to keep things from moving. And I got a softer piece of foam here that I'm going to use on top of my cutter board. And I've got the stapler opened up like that, and we want to get that lined right in that crease. And that's right in a great spot. We'll do 2 more like that. I'm actually going to double this. Right there. Oh, that one bent up. Try to go a little easier, maybe. That was good position. That's better. Push that through. And then fold over. Easier to do it like this. Oh, that's 2, and we'll do a 3rd so it's nice and secure. And about the same distance there. No, that's off a little. Center. We don't want that. Want it right in that crease. That's better. Push that through all the way. And then I'll bend it. And the last thing I'm going to do is just put a little tape over each one. Just so they're not poking through anything. Check that. Oh yeah, that one's nice and flat. I got pages I can draw. I got pages I can write. I got pages I can just put a pressed plant on. Or draw out a garden. So that's my first way of finding a signature. And the next way of finding, I'll show you, is going to be the 3-hole sewn up method. So, got everything again lined up well. I'm just going to put these little clips on it to make sure nothing moves. And this one here, I have the innermost of this signature is actually my watercolor paper. So I'm going to do 3 holes evenly spaced in here, like 1, 2, 3. And I've just got, this is a tiny little screwdriver head, and it's quite sharp because it's so tiny. So I'm using that because I don't have an awl here in my craft area. This is very sharp, so it will work. And again, I'm going to start in the center here, and I'm going to go right in the center. I'm just going to poke that right through everything. There we go. Right out the other side. And that's all I need to do for now. Oh, my little tool. And now I'm going to do about this far. And I'm going to do another hole through it all, right out to the back seam, along that back crease. And then one more about the same length. Or same distance apart. There we go. 3 holes. And now we are going to take darn needle, and I'm using some of this like crochet thread. It's very strong to do my binding. And I'm going to start going in from the back side here through the center, and just going to leave a little out and hold that. And then I'm going to go up to the top and then down to the bottom on the outside here. And then on the inside, I go back up to the middle. And then I'm out through the center again. So I'll give this a snip because I don't need that much. And now we're going to tie this first to see how we're sort of off to the side there. I'm going to put this one under that top string and this one under the bottom string. And then awesome. And bottom again. And then trim it a little. And put a little tape. Take our clips off. But here it will lay flat no matter where you open it to. So that's 2 ways. Now the third way to bind is the wraparound. So we take the same crochet thread. we'll say not much. And we're going to keep some out there. And then we're going to wrap it right in that crease 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess I cut plenty. 4. So we've got 4 going right up and down this crease here. And then get rid of some of this. We're going to knot it once. And after, cross it once, right? That over. That over. Then knot it. And one last time. Now, strands. Tape. Everything flat and centered. Let's see how flat we lie. Very nice. So with this 4 wrap, it's handy style if you think you might want to add more pages in or whatever. And I thought it'd be good to have a signature section or 2 like that I could add in some extra things if I want to. So that is the 3 signature ways. We have the 4 wrap, the 3 hole sew, or the basic 3 staple. So I had done another couple. This was the 3 hole sew, and this one was the wrap, which again I find handy for adding in. So shows my order I want them in, and now I'm just going to put them in. So 1 and up. Oh, it's on the front. I'll know that. 2 and up. 3 and up. 4 and up. 5 and up. So now what we can do is we can glue those. And we're going to start with 5. And we're going to do 4 to 5. And we're going to match up these colors. Exactly. And then that's why we need to have all the same size covers. We are going to put glue everywhere except for this back edge. So I'm just going to draw myself a line there so I remember And that's the same on the back of number 4. Okay, so I'm going to glue most of it to each other, but not that back edge near the bindings. Go with that. And I'm just going to wipe that down. One of my little fingers out to the edge. And now I'm going to do the same on the back of number 4. 4, that's that right. I'm going to do along my line there so I know not to go. And then out. I get lots of that edge. Fill up my bottle already. Go right out to that edge. First, line up those corners. Just perfectly. Okay, once I've got that edge, a bit glue on, lined up, and I'll bring that up and glue the rest. And there we have now joined 4 to 5. Now we'll do 4 and line and 3, the back of 3. I find it handy to put a piece of paper down when I'm gluing so I can get right out to the edge there, right off the edge. And not worry about getting it on the rest of the journal. So I've got very thoroughly glued. And now I'm going to put 4 and 3 together. Now this is going to be a little more difficult because I have to pick this up now. I'm going to start at the bottom corner and then go right up along that edge to the top corner. Press it down. I got a nice edge there again. And now I'm going to work on 3 to 2. I needed to work a little faster, so I got myself some glue in a dish and a sponge here to start spreading it a little quicker. So I was worried about it drying on me. Okay. Okay, now we're gonna go. And again, okay, paper, pick 3 up, or 2, you know, the one we're working on here. We'll get these corners lined up. And then this whole outer edge. But it does help to have a little thicker paper when you're doing these covers. Because if you were just gluing these thinner paper together, your glue might come through. You also got glue paper here now. But yes, your glue might come through the thin sheets and stick to the next pages. So there we go. We're on number 2 to 1. Now, some narrow on the back of 1. And we'll put some glue and put those together. Now the last thing that we've got it all glued is we want to put something heavy on it and let it dry. Okay, so we've been letting this dry for a few hours. And seems good, secure. Okay, so there's our book. Now we just need cover and some binding. So we're going to do our binded edge first. Cut there. Okay. Now, I just want this just a millimeter or so over the edge of the book. Perfect. Okay. Now, just checking my height again. I've got just a millimeter or so on each edge. Now I'm going to do how wide I want it. And I want a little squeeze when I measure. So mark it again. So we're going to glue on our spine here. And we are going to not put the glue again. We're going to leave space and not put the glue there. Or there. So putting glue out from my line. And going to press. Press. Now we're going to make covers for our journals. This is nice and secure. It's got just a tiny bit of space in there when you squeeze it. Everything's still opening good, flat. Great. Now we're going to make our covers, and I want mine a little thicker, so I'm going to use some cardboard. So I got one piece of cardboard with a nice straight edges there. And now I'm going to, I want this just overhanging a tiny bit of the pages and match up with my edge there. And then just out over my book edge a bit there to overhang. Just a millimeter. So cut that. One. You can see how it's just, that's the color, overlapping just a bit on my book there. And up to this edge. Now I'm going to double this so I have a nice thick cover. So. Okay, so I got more cardboard cut up the same size here. I think these are a little thinner than these, so I'm going to put those together like that, so I have the same thickness on each side. Together. Put my glue sponge here, wrapped in plastic till I need it again. Along the edge. Then there we go. Get these all glued up and ready to make our covers. I've got my 2 cardboard covers all glued, and now I'm going to cut my material, and it's just going to be half an inch bigger than the actual adorable cover for my garden journal. And that way, if I wanted to take it outside, and I won't have to worry about it so much because this is like a canvas. save these pieces. You never know what they come in handy for. These ones are a bit small. I'm going to glue it on there first, and then I'm going to cut corners. All the way to the edge. Okay. Okay, there we go. All out. Here. Clamp that down. If you do have thin material or paper, it does glue a lot easier for doing this. But I wanted the thicker cover, so that's fine. I will just clamp it, clip it for now till I get it all done, and then I'll put something heavy on it to make sure. Okay, to the side. over. So that's why we'll let it dry like that a bit, and then I'll put it under. I'll take the clips off and then press it under something heavy. So before I glue it on, I'm just going along this outside edge and giving that a good press. And then this is going to be my front. That's the top. So these here are a couple of corners. Just giving that a tiny bit of a rounding. Okay, so that one's ready to glue on. So there's the book. Okay, so front and up, front and up, and we are going to glue that just to there. Now, when I'm putting glue on these covers, I don't want to put it out to the 3 edges that will be overhanging the book pages. I do want it glued right to the spine edge though. Now on the cover of this top signature, I'm going to put the glue right to the edge. Then, when I put them together, I'll place that just a couple millimeters in from the edge of the book cover because I have that little overhang. Once I have my covers glued, I'll place heavy books on them so they can sit and dry. Sorry, I had some tech difficulties and didn't show the back cover gluing. It was the same process as the front. So I had my heavy books on them drying overnight, and now I take the books off and check, and it'll secure, and wherever I open the book, it will lay flat. So that's success. I'll make more journals of different sizes with different materials for the covers in the future. If you enjoyed this video, you might like my last video that helps you figure out how many journals you may need. Thank you for creating with me.